The beginning of a film is one of the most important parts of a movie. It needs to draw people in, set the tone and atmosphere, and get the audience intrigued by introducing overarching plot elements, themes, and characters. A bad opening can spoil a good film, and a good opening can uplift a bad one. Today, I want to look at the opening of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, talking about why I think it works as a fantastic movie opening, and why it is one of my favourite openings to any Star Wars film. It sets up the atmosphere of the world we're jumping into, the themes, the plot of the film, and the character relationships, all in one fun and energetic sequence. So let's dive in. Now, it wouldn't be a mainline Star Wars film without the iconic title crawl, and I kind of like it. There's a novelty to it, but also you go to see a movie, the first thing you have to do is read, I don't know. But it is an efficient way of catching the audience up to speed with where we are with the story, whilst also being able to sprinkle little bits of world building amongst the exposition. The title crawl starts with this declaration: war. The last film ended with this quote from Yoda:
"Begun. The Clone War has."
And this opening crawl very much gets us prepared to be thrust into the heart of a galactic conflict. The crawl mentions characters that we know, Count Dooku, Chancellor Palpatine, but also introduces a new name, General Grievous, a character we know nothing about. The one thing I would say, it tells us that Grievous swept into the Republic capital and kidnapped Chancellor Palpatine, and I want to see that. George, show, don't tell us. Like, I get it, the movie has a lot going on anyways, it would probably bloat it, but I really want to see a live action sequence where Grievous somehow manages to go to Coruscant, kidnap the leader of the Galactic Senate, and get away. Well, not get away, but fly away, get off planet. I think that's crazy. But yeah, I think that would be really cool, but obviously it's not in the film. So the crawl ends and we have the classic Star Wars pan towards Coruscant. As the planet starts to come into view, we see a Venator-class Star Destroyer, a Republic cruiser. As this happens, the opening music slowly fades out to make way for a slow and suspenseful drum beat. We hear the screeching of two engines and two Jedi starfighters fly into shot, flying above and around the cruiser. This instantly gives us a sense of scale. We have a planet in the background, then this huge cruiser, and then these two little spaceships. We're 20 seconds in, and we're already being told by the film to adjust our sense of scale for this story. We're looking at a galaxy-spanning war. No Star Wars film has had a story that covers as much of the galaxy as this one, and as we move into the scene we will see this scale just explode. Showing this Star Destroyer as the first shot of the movie actually also plays into the storytelling of the film as a whole. Look, it's not much, but I love how they decided to characterize the Republic Star Destroyers with these red accents. Number one, it looks really cool, and number two, it actually gives some personality to the ship itself. You see, chronologically, the next opening in the series will be Episode 4, A New Hope, and we will have a similar premise to this one. However, instead of a Star Destroyer flying alongside the protagonist's ship, it will be a Star Destroyer pursuing the protagonist's ship. Now, that opening also has a Star Destroyer front and center, just like this one. But in that film, the ship is bland, plain, stripped of those cool red highlights, stripped of any character whatsoever, which really hints to the authoritarian fist of the Empire that we see come to power at the end of this film. Back to the scene. As the two Jedi starfighters fly into the shot, the music crescendos into this militaristic, driven rendition of the Force theme that we've heard so much in the franchise so far. Not only does this indicate to us that these two ships contain our two Jedi protagonists of the film, but this warlike arrangement of the music can also be seen as a brief nod to the fact that the Jedi, the supposed keepers of the peace, the wielders of the Force, are actually key figures in this war, using the Force in this militaristic way. As the camera flies with the starfighters over the Star Destroyer, we dive down from the calmness of space into the chaos of war. Again, the sense of scale is unlike anything we've really ever seen before in a Star Wars film. We see multiple cruisers in the background, Republic and Separatist ships flying all around, explosions happening, turbo lasers going kapew! We truly are deep in the Clone Wars. As we move across this battlefield, we actually get a great sense of how in sync Obi-Wan and Anakin are at this point in their lives, constantly in extremely close formation with each other, maneuvering, barrel rolling, shifting positions, shooting, all with a smooth efficiency that only really comes with complete trust and knowledge of the other person. Now, I want to point out the camera. This whole opening section is in one beautiful continuous shot. And what I love about this is that throughout all this chaos of this space battle, we are always focused on the two starfighters. These two characters are our point of view for this film. We follow their stories and they really are the audience's anchor point to this galaxy. So being able to move through this scene with them as our focal points, we're able to experience all of the madness happening around us, the sense of scale, the intensity of the war that they are a part of from their perspective. I just want to say John Williams is a genius. The music in this film is amazing, and the music in this section is it just works so well. It just gives you a drive, it makes you excited to see it. Also, like there's like a weird tenseness to flying through all these explosions. It's just mwah, chef's kiss, beautiful stuff. Next up, the shot zooms towards Anakin's starfighter, and we cut away from this continuous shot into more close-ups, more personal angles inside the cockpit itself. This whole next section does a wonderful job of setting up the characterization of these two characters. We get Anakin's driven nature shining through.
Lock on to him, R2. Master, General Grievous's ship is directly ahead.
A bit of classic Obi-Wan sarcasm.
Oh, I see it. Oh, this is going to be easy.
We also see the clone troopers having their backs, supporting them in this dogfight and actually dying in the process of doing so. And it sort of hints to the fact that these soldiers do have some personality and a connection to these Jedi, something that will be taken away from them towards the end of the film. We see Anakin's brilliance as a fighter pilot, contrasted by Obi-Wan's less fancy flying. R2-D2 gets a moment to shine, and then we see Anakin's care for his master as he casts aside the main mission to save Obi-Wan. I think that the film's opening really stops here once they enter Grievous's ship. I think that that's more like the opening act, and I just wanted to focus on the opening scene. Maybe I'll cover the second half of this sequence in another video. This opening is amazing. I remember loving it as a kid, and I still love it now. It does a fantastic job of setting up the atmosphere and tone of the film, setting the scale of the conflict of the Clone Wars, showing us epic action set pieces so that we know to expect awesome things to come. It gets the plot moving along, introduces intrigue with characters old and new, and it also opens up glimpses into our main character's relationship and dynamic, something that will be explored throughout the course of the film. We are shown all these little moments of Anakin Skywalker being a good Jedi, a good friend, and a good person, which all feeds into his fall from grace later on.
Get out of here! There's nothing more you can do! I'm not leaving without you, Master.
Look, it is not perfect. It suffers from prequel dialogue, as all of the prequels do, and some people say that because it's all CGI, it doesn't have a weight to it. I disagree, but regardless, I think it works as a whole, and I think it works very well. It really is a brilliant film opening. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more TV, film, and video game analysis. What is your favorite Star Wars opening and why? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Take care, guys. Bye.